Hey guys, Omni here. We are finally back with The Flash. Last episode, Barry tried to erase the forces by going back in time with the help of Timeless Wells. They played up this element. They found out, thanks to Nora and investigating some of what she said, that along with returning her to existence, it was Barry and Iris that also created the forces. So in that way, Barry took it upon himself to feel like he's responsible for their existence and for what happened to their hosts right now, what he kind of forced upon their lives by birthing these forces, though now these powers are kind of tethered to these beings. So they're kind of doing this thing where these characters who have been imbued with these powers have kind of always been this way. It's a little weird. It's not exactly the same as like the metas. It's this weird kind of, I don't know. The way they're trying to play it is like, I am me, me is the force, we is the force, I am the force. If you take the force, you're taking me kind of thing. And it's just like a little weird that they're playing it that way. They're also doing this like parental figure thing with Barry and Iris towards the other forces. Like they're projecting them as family, as father and mother of these forces, and that they feel responsible for them. Well, they should feel responsible for what is going on since they did do it. It's a little weird. It's a little weird, not gonna lie. But the episode was kind of fun. In the end, it was one of those episodes that did just kind of like treadmill. Like it barely moved the plot forward. You know, they built up to this whole thing, and then in the end, they decided not to do the thing. There's some good cinematography in last episode, some beautiful shots. And then herself as the parent. Again, weird parallel, but whatever. We'll roll with it. She was like, we should just need to get through to Nora, the human part of Nora. And so she goes to try to track her down, ends up running into Psyche instead. And Psyche's like, I don't give a shit about all that. I hate my parents. And like he goes kind of haywire. Thankfully, Barry in a way kind of saved Iris for a moment. Because back in the past, he's wiping them out, so he fritzes out in and out of existence before Barry finally decides not to do it. And yeah, Iris just leaves while he's fritzing. So whatever, we'll see how this whole thing pans out. We'll see where it goes. The last thing we got, the stinger last episode. I forgot to mention before we get to the stinger last episode. Once Barry and Iris are on the same page, because they're the one that created the forces, they're able to actually resurrect through their connection Alexa, the strength force, Fuerza, bringing her back to life. The stinger to the episode was Nora confronting Dion out in the open while he's just walking, minding his own business, listening to some tunes, and here comes Nora doing the fucking Eobard Thawne speed hand, getting ready to do some stabbing. So that's where we are, guys. Let's go ahead and get ready to hop in. Remember, full-length, unedited reaction watch-alongs are available over on Patreon, or if you become a member here to the channel, get you access to the same stuff. I just smacked my headset with the remote. Let's go ahead and dive in. Here we go.
Back off, lady.
Oh, Dion. Past, present, or future, you can't run from me.
Who said I'm gonna run? Yeah, I could just snap my fingers, send you back 1,000 years in time.
Now that is no way to treat your big sister.
I don't have a sister.
Yes, you do. Your stillness knows my speed, little brother. We're connected. You and I.
So, okay, this makes a little bit more sense. Kinda, it's still fucking weird.
Okay, who cares? I don't know you.
Yes, you do. We were born at the same time.
What? Lenny, you're nuts.
We may have come into this world together, but this isn't my first time.
He's been alive for over a decade. Shut up.
I could kill you at any moment. I don't want you dead,
Why?
but I do want
What?
your help.
What the fuck? Where'd this come from?
You and I have a common enemy. Our father, Barry Allen, rejected me. Just like he rejected you.
What the fuck, Nora?
How does that make you feel?
All right. Family squabble.
raised the Flash, and you two birthed me. That makes you what, my parents?
Something like that.
Why are they acting like these hosts were created by them? These hosts have always existed. It's just weird. Nora makes sense. If the Forces had a different personality, that'd be one thing.
I can't hurt anyone else.
We'll make sure you don't.
Mm-hmm.
Let us help you.
I like her a lot, man. Already.
Who are you? What do you want?
Aw, you don't remember me. Let's see if I can't jog your memory.
Bashir? How are you doing this?
Well, it's kind of a long story. To be honest with you, it's been a bit of a nightmare. How about I share it with you?
I like him better without the mask, man. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm needed at CCPD. Let me know if you find out anything.
This guy has a really big problem against, like, the rich financial establishments. Because that's where they caught him the last time, too.
What are you thinking?
Well, we both assumed that Psych had an axe to grind with the system because he was attacking banks and the stock market, but now he's going after individual people. Why the change?
Yeah, I know. It feels personal.
More like an Ivy League society. If Psych is targeting people in this group, then start training Alexa as fast as you can. I'm gonna try and figure out who's next on Psych's list.
Man, dude, I gotta say, I'm loving how at the forefront Iris has been this season so far. It's so refreshing.
Have a seat, Captain.
Armament delivery form.
The city's metacriminal problem, and I need your help. There seem to be a whole lot of cases where metacriminals simply disappear around here. This Rainbow Raider. 1 minute he's in CCPD custody, the next missing. Any thoughts?
None whatsoever.
Are they? She talking about where they secretly store all these metas?
Cases. Patty Spivot, reassigned. Julian Elmer,
Oh!
also reassigned.
I miss Tom Felton, man. She trying to find like the pipeline prison that they've got for metas, or Argus, or something else. I mean, technically, what they do with him and by putting him in the pipeline is a little is extremely sketch.
You know, I've reinforced this baby with inverse surge capabilities. The harder you push against it, the stronger it's gonna get. Even Fuerza can't fight herself, right?
Fuerza. You named it Strength? I guess that makes sense.
Judging by this empire that you've built up for yourself, it appears that you followed the League's motto to a T, Naomi. Congratulations.
I don't know why, man. I really like Psych.
Smashing costume, Bashir.
I like Dion too. So far, I like all the Forces.
It's not working. I don't know how to bring that thing out.
It's because you're holding back.
I've got isotopes downtown.
Used to like Nora, but
You don't have to do this.
Oh, yes, I really do. Whew. Back for another round, huh, Flash?
Psych, you need to listen to me. Trying to...
Boring.
the fuck?
So you're dead. Life is just full of little surprises, isn't it?
I'm just gonna have to roll with this whole parent thing. Because they are, man, hard. Seems like the other Forces have just accepted this.
I mean, somehow he was able to manifest tentacles that could move as fast as me.
So,
Damn. So,
fifth
I thought Barry was
comatose
actually,
in the
like, being
hospital, and an
held
evil
back, but no.
magenta sage
Those were
guru
just
with
really fast tentacles.
Magenticles, if you
Magenticles. Oh my god.
Maybe I'm not strong enough to stop Bashir, but Fuerza is.
Wait, you want me to fight him? What if I accidentally kill him?
Well, you won't if you can get a handle on your powers, which is why we gotta continue your training.
We got a Joe plot going on.
Find what you're looking for?
These bullets contain the metahuman cure, don't they?
30 cc's each, yes.
What the fuck?
Threatening the public good. We need to be able to protect the people of this city.
This is illegal.
No. There's just no precedent for them. Yet.
Result you wanted in court. So I'll contact the governor's office.
The governor authorized the order. I'm still hoping that they're on this, Captain.
You can fuck right off.
Figure out which side of it you're on, and let me know.
If I start to lose control, promise me you'll turn these things off.
Of course we will. Also, got backup. You ready?
All right, let's do this. Uh-oh.
I'm shutting it down now.
Oh! Oh, Jesus!
I told you I couldn't control it.
There's a way. We'll figure it out.
We can't train that thing.
Alexa, we don't have a choice.
Oh, you don't. I do, and I won't be your weapon. I'm done with this, and I am done with you.
Wait, Alexa.
Barry, hey,
What?
what are you doing?
She needs to.
This isn't the first time that Barry's been like this trying to train somebody.
Well, she's not ready.
Well, she has to be. All right, look, it's my fault that Nora wants her dead. That means it's my responsibility to keep her safe.
Shit, why can't I remember who he got like this with?
Your greatest enemy was more patient with you than you're being with your own daughter.
Oh!
Think about that. Well, I try and stop you from pushing another kid away.
Yeah, I mean, you can't really get one over on Thawne when it comes to patience. He did the same thing with Nora, too.
When we were at Cleary Capital, and Psych whammied me and Barry and
Oh, we
Frost,
didn't see it.
He showed us our worst nightmares. I saw myself 40 years from now. I was still working at Star Labs. Everybody had moved on. And I hadn't. And I felt this insane regret at not even trying to do anything else with my career.
He saved so many lives, though, doing what he's done. What look like the time he spent at Star Labs, he's done amazing things. It's really hard to top that kind of stuff going anywhere else, but he's got to try. I wonder how many years in the future if that fucking hole in the roof is still there.
After a while, I realized that there was good inside that other part of me.
How'd you do that?
By talking to Frost with this.
I could hear that thing in my head.
It'll take time. But I think that's just what you two need.
Satellites are picking up Lucas Sharp.
Hang on.
We got
heading Sharp's way fast.
His isotopic shit was all over the map where he's heading. Hot damn. License registration, please.
I tried to get in touch. I was worried about you.
You did? Oh, that's so sweet. I'm sure you thought about me every day. Sure, sure, sure. Hey, listen, now that I've got you here, can I pick your brain about something?
No, seriously, I have a question.
I'm coming with you.
Alexa, you don't have to.
I know.
I want to meet my brother. That's a beautiful little scenery they got right there. I don't think we've seen this like location before.
Oh, I have a baby sister.
can hear me, por favor, fuerza. Necesito tu ayuda.
Oh.
Very big baby sister.
And in broad daylight, and it still looks pretty good. Damn, he's getting better with these little tendril things, man.
Bashir, you don't have to fight us. Yes, I do, Dad.
At some point, the walls we build need to come down. When they do, the people who still want to be there for you, that's a real family. That's us.
Continue.
We'll wait for you, Bashir. As long as it takes.
Wow, Iris learning this whole parent force power thing pretty quick. That was kind of cute. I'm not gonna lie.
A lot of people wanted me to compare the Microsoft
Alexa,
Surface
man,
Pro 7 to the iPad Pro.
coming
So here we
in
go.
clutch.
Surface Pro.
Hey, you know those rifles and whatever those gloves are supposed to be? That's not gonna help you. You know that, right? Just a heads up.
It's just like a normal family.
I think I have things to do.
Agent Chip Cooper from Argus.
Stand down.
I'm staying on the right side of the line.
Damn.
So now you know everything we do.
Uh-oh. He's already here. I like how Nora got a fucking dark makeover. Did they darken her hair too?
Please.
She's got the eyeliner and eyeshadow and... Oh, fuck.
You made me do this, Barry.
No. Nope. 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 Don't believe you. That's like my response to the last, what, 2-3 shows I've watched now with these endings with people dying. Oh, fuck me, man. Dion's gonna turn good. He saw that shit right up front, calling it. He's going to turn heel on against Nora next time they roll up. He's like, that shit was fucked up, man. He's going to like, whoop, 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 rewind it. They'll be back. They're going to be a happy family. Be like, we are. I'm not going to do that, copyright. Anyway, and then they're just going to go at it. And it's going to be everybody versus Nora. They're going to throw down. Barry's going to eat Nora, become the Speed Force, party over. Now all the forces have a host, and there's no force with its own sentience anymore. Let's just get there. Alexa, man, MVP of this episode. MVP. I don't know what it is. It's just like, it's such like a sincerity to her performance in this role. Like, it's from the get-go. I think like when she was introduced, there was already like an air about her, even though she did have a little bit of a sass, you know, when she got called out about it, rightfully so. But there was still like a history, a struggle. There was just something about her performance that I thought was really lived in. And I liked every moment that she had in this episode. Again, I wish the writers could do something different with Barry. Last episode, we knew the narrative that the story was trying to tell, and they did the thing where they make Barry wrong. And then this one, they did the thing where they make Barry push too hard again, which is something we've seen him do multiple times whenever he's trying to mentor somebody. He's like, we got to do it. We don't have a choice. You got to get there. We can't time. We don't have no time. You got to do it. You have to get this done now. We got to keep training. No breaks. This isn't the only time. You know, it was Ralph I was talking about earlier. Assuming I left it in. He did the same thing with Ralph. He was pushing Ralph to keep training, to training, to training. He's like, DeVoe's coming for you. You gotta learn how to use your powers. DeVoe's gonna come and get you. And he's like, we don't have time. And then he learned a lesson. And then the writers are like, hey, Barry, let's delete that shit and repeat it. It's a little annoying, especially when the show's gone on this long, to just see Barry fall into those same pitfalls again. Which, to be fair, is human to fall back on mistakes and lessons you've already learned before. People backstep, people fall into whatever pressure, and I'll give it a pass here for that, because this is something crazy. I mean, DeVoe was his own kind of OP, but this is Nora we're up against here. Why did she just decide, was like, afterwards she was like, none of these other forces should exist. None of them existed before. None of them should exist from now. But Dion, if he helps me, will be okay. My guess is she's going to use him for her own means now and maybe betray him later. Just be like, and then try to kill him. And since he can, like, at least manipulate time, might get himself out of that situation. Because it's just like, I don't know, weird. But I like this episode, Bashir, learning about Psych. He was the one I was definitely curious about, the most curious, because we knew Dion from the get-go once he revealed himself. We knew Alexa from the get-go once we tracked down Fuerza, figured that whole thing out. Psych remained a mystery for a hot minute, and he was the one that was definitely causing the most mischief. Dion's mostly kept to himself outside of the little time pocket he made, keeping his little hometown in the 90s. And of course, Alexa was doing her own thing. She can't control her abilities until she got that dampener that Caitlin had been using to communicate with Frost. I think it was a nice little writing touch to bring that back in as a way to help her with her Hulk problems. And the little face-off. I mean, he animated Fuerza in the daylight, which is the worst time, the worst setting, the worst lighting to usually do something like with CGI, especially when you don't have a huge budget. And while the animation itself was a little wonky, I think it looked good. Like why I'm talking, what I mean, like some people are like, well, it was CGI animated. Well, what do you mean? I mean, like the way it moved was a little jittery, a little janky, a little low key, but like the way it looked was pretty decent for what the show's done, especially given how dysmorphic the original appearance was and this form is. It's easier to notice the uncanny valley when it's something that's kind of humanoid like that. So I think I gotta respect what they did and how they did it in broad daylight. I like Psych's escalation of powers. I gotta say, Bashir's not half bad with that mask off. Gotta say, just ditch the mask, ditch it. I like how his whole thing kind of ended up being like his perception based on the worst of that group. He kind of assumed because of his status, because of everything that happened, that the worst person in that group represented everybody in that group. And he projected what Naomi had done to everybody in the group. I like that they revealed that no, they actually did try to help you. They reached out and you just kept pushing everybody away because you just thought what you thought. I don't know. I like it. It may be like the easy way out. And I know like a lot of people right now are kind of harping on the no action, no fisticuffs in the Flash. You know, we're just talking every villain down. I think we're saving up for some pretty decent fights down the line. We got Godspeed still on the tail end of this season that's going to be coming. So we're gonna have some throwdowns, man. It's coming. They're saving their budget. I think we'll have a face-off with all the forces before this whole Force arc concludes, because it's not going to carry out through the rest of the season. It's just going to be this first little bit before we move on to the next thing. But I'm really liking this arc. I didn't like last episode because, like I said, it just made Barry seem stupid, and it was all building towards something they didn't move forward with in the long run. I just don't like those episodes where a lot of time spent not moving the narrative forward just because they need to fill an episode. But this one, I really liked how they did it. Alexa, the actress playing her, did an amazing job. And Bashir, man, killing it. I like that. I like their dynamic too. Like, even though like I don't like the whole like family thing, like, yeah, they got the forces from them, but like these two people clearly have existed for a long time. It's more like their new family rather than, which should make Barry and Iris not so much parental figures. Yeah, they birthed the forces and maybe the forces could feel that way, but the hosts being like that's a little odd. Like, I feel like they should be a little more like on equal playing fields with at least Barry, because of course he's an avatar of his force. He's technically a slave to his force. So it's kind of interesting to see that parallel, because he should be able to feel the same way that they feel. So in that way, I feel like he should be more of a brother to them, or an uncle, rather than a father. So it's really weird seeing these like adults who have been alive just as long as Barry, if not longer, call him father. But we'll roll with it. Jo leaving the CCPD. Well, if he can't fight her, if she's doing everything by the book, and if she's doing everything legally, and he isn't going to be complacent with that, so I got to respect him, man. Captain Joe West, no more, just Joe West. I wonder if that's going to last. I wonder how long that's going to go. I like this. Cecile's like, you know, you can't really change somebody's mind by force or whatever. You know, like, you lead by example, I guess, is kind of what she was saying. It's like, you got to show her how to make the decision herself. You can't force her to make the decision, especially somebody that's like this much of a zealot for what they believe in. And in a way, this was an interesting debate. And I know a lot of you guys probably watched Blind Wave. They broke this down pretty good, like at how gray this area is. Like, meta abilities, since these abilities weren't really chosen upon these people that got them, are they treated like a tool, or are they treated like a part of their being? Like, and the show rides that line sometimes about which that is, right? And, you know, the side of our heroes are very much preaching that these abilities are part of who they are. They define them. Like, without their powers, they're not them anymore. But then again, a lot of these people had lives well before they ever had powers. A lot of them had their lives ruined by powers. But then they got the cure, and then that's why the cure was made to be a choice. People that wanted to go back to being normal, because when you roll the dice when you get a metahuman ability. Some people end up like Snake Eye guy. You know, you don't get some fun powers, or Toad in the X-Men. Not every mutant ability is a fun one. So like, in that way, like, you get a choice in the matter. But at what point does it become like you? At what point does your identity become tied to your abilities? I think you could draw that same comparison to like people, like athletes. Their athletic ability, is that who they are, or is just something they can do? Are they still them? Let's say a runner, if they can no longer run. Let's say The Rock, if he, for whatever reason one day, and I think they even use this example, so that might be me kind of stealing it. It's like, what if, like, you know, he worked to get that strength, to get that muscle. He put in the effort, and then what if one day, like, no matter what, like, he was as thin as me, and then no matter how hard he tried, he can never get back to that, and that was taken away from him, something like he treasured like that. It's really, you could have a really interesting debate about what this is. And now she's like, again, coming back to choice, these are criminals. She's specifically targeting criminals. People are abusing their powers. So is it wrong for her to take away their abilities? If they are using those abilities to hurt people, to steal, to break the law, should it be treated like a tool? A person with a gun, should that taken away? No longer able to, like a convict, no longer able to like own a firearm or weapons or anything like that? Or like, are they going to treat it like an athlete? Like, how do you, I mean, if you're misusing it like that, I mean, it's a gray area. Like, I can understand both sides of it, kinda, But that's why I think, like Joe, I think he's taken himself out of the equation, so he can't be aligned with it because he believes in the good of people. You know, people make bad decisions, and that kind of like what he was telling Barry is like, you got to hope that people can be better, and that goes for everybody. And that's the point of the justice system. I mean, there are people that can't get better. There are people that don't deserve to get better, but you got to give people the chance. It's the ones that abuse that chance is the ones that probably need to have it come down on. But you can have a long conversation. I'm dragging this thing out just because it's a rabbit hole that you can go down talking about it. But guys, I'm going to sign off here with that. So I want to know your thoughts on this episode, your thoughts on all the stances presented in this episode. Sound off the comments. Let me know your thoughts down below. We'll carry on the conversation after the video. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Guys, before we go, huge shout out to our patron legends, Mandy Sher, Antoine Rodriguez, Ryan Karen, and Jason Coleman. Thank you guys so much for your support. Thank you guys, everybody who's been joining the Patreon. Remember, full unedited reactions and are available over on Patreon and here if you become a member on the channel. Just whichever one's more convenient for you if you want to check those out. But guys, follow me on my socials, join the Discord, and I'll catch you guys in the next episode of The Flash. Take care, everybody.